Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Everyone's really kind of down because he was such a great guy, you know?
A Hartford teacher is being remembered by students. Police say he died in a ski accident. Thanks for joining us here in the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. Tonight, people are remembering a man who left his mark on several communities across Connecticut as a husband and father, a teacher, avid hiker, and a ski patroller.
Dan Negrelli from Canton died in a ski crash in Utah over the weekend.
Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro shines a light on a legacy that Negrelli's family says was as tall as the mountains he was known to climb.
Dan Negrelli's legacy was in part built here at Prince Tech High School in Hartford, where he was a computer applications teacher. In a statement, a spokesperson for the school system says he was a beloved mentor, colleague, and friend who touched the lives of students and staff in countless ways. From this school,
I thought it was fake and I started to cry.
He was just very kind. He would always be in the cafeteria holding a sign, trying to let us go hiking with him.
To the mountains and slopes.
And just had this absolute love for the outdoors that he wanted to share with everyone. You know, specifically his wife and daughter. You know, they would frequently go on hikes. He was, skiing with his daughter almost every weekend.
The loss of Dan Negrelli is being felt by many, including his sister-in-law, Tara Brinkman.
He was just this all-around great guy. Everyone enjoyed being around him.
Police in Utah say Negrelli appeared to have crashed into a tree at a ski resort near Salt Lake City Saturday afternoon. Investigators say he was wearing proper gear and a helmet.
Never could have predicted anything like this. He's, does these trips with the boys every year.
His energy, his presence is just not there. Just good morning, have a good day. Just it's not the same.
Prince Tech student Ausinea Headley and others are also processing the tragedy.
The school is going to be missing a hardworking teacher, someone who cares for you, who wants you to succeed, wants the best for you,
Negrelli was also a ski patroller at Ski Sundown in New Hartford. In a statement, a spokesperson for the ski resort called Negrelli a, quote, amazing guy, very outgoing, and the type of person everyone would gravitate towards.
No mountain was too high, no ski slope was too steep for Dan, and he wanted everyone to know that.
The family has set up a GoFundMe page to support Negrelli's wife and daughter. You can find that link on our website. That is fox61.com. Reporting in Hartford, I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
All right, thank you, Angelo. Well, we have some breaking news now. We're told by 911 dispatch in Middletown, car has drove into a river at Harbor Park, and as of right now, that's all we know. There aren't many details being released, but we'll fill you in as soon as we learn more.
Now, Fox 61 Weather Impact with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank.
This was the warmest day of the year so far. Temperatures climbing well into the 50s, and there's been a lot of melting out there. The ground has been wet all day, and not from anything falling from the sky, but from the ice pack that is melting out there. I refuse to call it a snowpack. It is hard as a rock. Temperatures right now are in the 40s. Still at this hour for a lot of the state, middle 30s in Windham. And we did have a couple hit or miss showers that were out there earlier. That is no longer a concern for us as we stay dry the rest of the evening tonight with clearing skies. The good news is I don't think temperatures will drop below freezing, so all of that melting doesn't end up refreezing, although it will be close for some areas like Waterbury, 36 for an overnight low in Hartford, and also for Chester as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at plenty of sunshine, a mix of sun and clouds, and high temperatures once again up around 50 degrees as we head through the afternoon. Hopefully you have a chance to get outside and enjoy this. As we head towards this time tomorrow night, there will be a rising chance for some rain, and that rain is going to take us into Thursday morning, which is looking wet. We'll see that rain just taper to scattered showers by Thursday afternoon, and we do stay warm through the end of this week, but next week, winter returns. We'll explain your full forecast coming up.
It has been 271 days since my husband was killed by the defendant. The horror, sadness, heartache, anger, and confusion I have felt since May 30th, 2024 has been unimaginable.
The man accused of hitting and killing State Trooper Aaron Pelletier appeared before a judge this morning. He accepted a plea deal to serve 18 years in prison. Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst has more from New Britain's Superior Court.
Aaron Pelletier's family and friends did not speak outside court today, but his wife Dominique did address those inside the courtroom as she argued against this plea agreement.
Guilty.
Tuesday morning, Alex Oyola Sanchez pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. He accepted a plea bargain to face 18 years behind bars.
This defendant was driving a loaded pickup truck and veered into the breakdown lane where Trooper Pelletier was safely located and struck Trooper Pelletier. Trooper Pelletier passed away on the side of the highway.
In May last year, state police say Sanchez hit Pelletier as he was conducting a traffic stop on I-84 in Southington. Police say Pelletier was talking with the driver he pulled over when Sanchez's pickup truck crossed onto the shoulder, sideswiped Pelletier's cruiser, and hit him. Pelletier died at the scene. Sanchez kept driving on I-84 East until he reached the exit for Route 9. It was there his truck became disabled and police arrested him.
He consented to a blood draw and tested positive for numerous narcotic and illicit substances.
The 44-year-old was charged with manslaughter and evading responsibility, as well as DUI, driving without minimum insurance, and failure to slow down or move over for an emergency vehicle on the highway.
It has been 271 days since my husband was killed by the defendant. The horror, sadness, heartache, anger, and confusion I have felt since May 30th, 2024 has been unimaginable.
In court Tuesday, Pelletier's wife Dominique spoke against the plea deal.
My fear is that when this man is eligible for parole, our children will still be in the public school system, still minors, still juveniles. How am I supposed to protect them from this evil?
She argued Sanchez should serve 30 years behind bars, 15 years for the manslaughter charge, and a consecutive 15 for evading responsibility.
Although the outcome of the sentencing won't change the fact that Aaron no longer walks this earth, I beg you to consider the timeline of events in the future years. How many more people does this person have to kill for the justice system to protect us all? I ask this court to ensure that no other family suffers as mine has. No other wife has to stand up and do what I'm currently doing. No other children have to grow up without their father. And no other trooper's sacrifice is met with anything less than the full weight of justice.
Alex Oyola Sanchez is due back in court to be sentenced April 29th. Reporting in New Britain, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61.
We have an update now from Hartford. The fire department has released the name of the person killed in a fire yesterday. The home on Whitney Street caught fire and Charles Rourke was found dead inside, but the cause of death is still unclear. The fire is also under investigation.
New tonight, the parent company of Stop & Shop is tangled up in a labor dispute with the local Teamsters union. The fight is over a potential decision by Ahold Delhaize to eliminate union health insurance and move warehouse operations out of Massachusetts. State treasurers from Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island sent a letter today to Ahold to express their concerns about the long-term stability of the company and how this could result in a potential strike. In that letter released to Fox 61, they said, quote, the company has built a strong customer base over decades, in part because consumers trust that it treats its workers fairly. A labor dispute of this magnitude risks eroding that trust, driving loyal customers to competitors, and causing lasting damage to Stop & Shop's brand. Well, the Fox follow-up from our nation's capital now. A Connecticut teen's tragic death is prompting change for the country's gun control laws. Now the memory of Ethan Song is back on the national stage.
Fox 61's Bridget Bureau joins us now in studio. And Connecticut's congressional delegations calling for safe gun storage laws. Bridget.
Brent, Sarah, Connecticut leaders stopped in the nation's capital today to rally support for Ethan's Law. The bill that's already in effect here in Connecticut is in memory of Guilford teenager Ethan Song, who died in early 2018 in an accident involving an unsecured gun. And now his mother is trying once again to make safe storage laws apply in every state in America.
I won't stop fighting until this law goes national.
A promise from a mother that Kristen Song plans to keep for her son Ethan.
I really stared into his eyes and I was like, this kid is going to make this huge impact on the world and I can't wait to see what it is. And I just never a million years thought it would be this type of impact.
The 15-year-old's life was cut tragically short in 2018 after an accident with an unsecured gun. Since then, the Song family focused their mission on preventing unnecessary death. Just 1 year later, Ethan's Law became the law of the land in Connecticut, passing with overwhelming bipartisan support. It requires gun owners to safely secure a firearm, whether loaded or unloaded, in a home where anyone 18 and under lives. But our elected leaders say that's not enough.
Still, around the country, there are 4.6 million homes with children where there are weapons that are loaded and unlocked. They are suicides, gun deaths, gun entries waiting to happen.
Connecticut lawmakers, advocates, and gun violence survivors traveled to Washington, D.C. Tuesday to repitch the idea of a national Ethan's Law, an effort that passed the U.S. House of Representatives in 2022 under the Protecting Our Kids Act, but fell short in the U.S. Senate. Senator Chris Murphy says it's time to try again.
We respect the Second Amendment. We make sure that anybody who wants to buy a gun to protect themselves or to hunt or to shoot for sport can get one. But we have common sense restrictions to make sure the criminals don't get guns, to make sure the most dangerous weapons aren't in circulation, and to make sure that gun owners do the right thing and lock up their guns.
A federal bill would establish a national standard for gun storage and punishment for violations, with the goal of preventing unintentional shootings and suicide, a change that the Song family hopes expands beyond Connecticut and a handful of other states that followed its lead.
I want to thank the Republicans in D.C. for their thoughts and prayers, but I want to be very clear. The survivors want action.
Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro says she has gathered the support of more than 60 members of Congress so far to reintroduce the bill once again. Of course, we'll be following it right here on Connecticut's news station. In studio, Bridget Piorlo, Fox 61. Brent, Sarah.